Welcome to the Generation Fit podcast. I'm Coach Chris, my coach, Coach Brett. Together, we have helped hundreds of desk-working men over 30 lose 20 plus pounds and become the men they were meant to be. Today, we talked about setting the standard as the man, as the leader for your family or your future family. And we talked about current events. Enjoy. Yeah, so sushi out in the Midwest, not too good, Bob. Not too good.
Yeah, kind of seems not ideal. Yeah, let's do fresh fish with like no localized bodies of salt water.
Well, yes. And I also live in the suburbs, so I'm about 25 minutes away from the Twin Cities. So we don't really go out to eat very often. And if we do, it's usually takeout. You know, we have a date night here and there, but usually we do like takeout just because we don't want to burden anybody else to watch the kid. So we get it from our local shops, and it's not to say like it's bad. It definitely like does the job. But if you're telling me like, hey, Chris, let's compare what in the from past experiences, well, it's like, man, I've had some top grade sushi back in New Jersey. And then you go to Hoboken and you're like, it's okay, it's still good. Like not not the greatest.
It's edible.
And then you go to New York City and you're like, oh, okay, this is like somebody probably massaged it, probably oiled it and greased her up a little bit, gave her a little like rub and tug, and then put it on the plate. And you're like, okay, well, no wonder this thing freaking like came 3 times, and then I ate it, and then like, it tastes great. So that's whereas here it's like I'm pretty sure it's frozen and imported from somewhere farm raised.
It has to be, right? Like, how else do you travel that far without like degrading quality like crazy?
That's what it is.
It's the only way to do it safely. You can't. It has to be frozen. You can't get it otherwise. It's just very unfortunate.
Yeah, and what's funny is I guess her cousin. So it's my second cousin. I don't know how it works, but whatever. It's her cousin, first cousin, and he was visiting. We were all went to go watch a hockey game for the kids, and he was mentioning how he's like, hey, was any good sushi around there? And I was like, no, not at all. Like zilch. He's like, oh, what a shame. He's like, I think he's moving back to like near South Dakota, like the Sioux Falls, South Dakota. So for anybody who doesn't know geography like me, that's on the tippity top of Minnesota. Like it's like on the border of it. Oh, there's no fish out there. And if there are, sushi grade fish, if there are, it's just like, it's like walleyes, like the big fish around here. And it's like another white fish. It's nothing like something to die for. You know, you don't crave about it while you're here. It's like, hey, let's go get some Minnesota food. And it's like, let's go get some walleye.
Yeah, not really the top of my bucket list for that guy. I think I'm good. Most freshwater whitefish are pretty similar in my experience. It's kind of hard to find ones that are like really unique. A lot of like the really good flavorful fish are coming from the ocean, right? Because already salted. Like lots of like different variants in their diets, so just like taste wildly different. Lots of cool stuff like that. But freshwater fish is they're pretty average. Not a whole lot like of a variance from like the median kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, that's what we did for New Year's Eve. There were no large fireworks near us. I think so. We just watched the New York one, which is ironic because we lived there basically. Yeah, I mean we're also in bed by like 11. I think it's just so different. I think when I was a bachelor, when I first met you, it was just like we were out and about doing everything, and I obviously had every celebration. And then now it's like I have a kid. It's like I don't even stay up past 10:30 on average.
Yeah, that's fair. That's the fucking life though, man. Like just fucking get to bed early, like a good fucking night's sleep. It's like I can't like the amount of times working in like, culinary where I was just like, I just don't want to go to bed because I don't want to go tomorrow. So instead I'm just gonna like have my same day tomorrow with like 3 hours of sleep instead of like 7. Like what a terrible fucking idea that was every time. I never learned. It was crazy. That shit was awful.
Well, what's actually funny is the life of a personal trainer. It actually is like the most hypocritical thing in the world. If you actually break it down backwards. And for anybody listening contextually, it's like I've been doing it for 10 years in person before I went full online. And I remember like I worked every day of the week for I think 4 years straight. Only missing like a day or two here and there for like if I got sick or like I literally just got burned out. I just kept pushing through. But to be fair, the average time I spent there was like getting about like 5:30, getting to the gym by 6 for the first session, taking a break in between, and then finishing it out all the way up to about 8 p.m. And then you had to go home, eat dinner, and go to sleep. that was the cycle, and I never got any sleep. And then to blow off steam, you go out to drink, have fun with your friends, you stay up till 2 3 in the morning, and the next thing you know, you gotta get up again at 6 a.m. and you're like, and it's so hypocritical because I remember telling people, like, oh, you gotta fix your sleep, and I'm over here freaking drinking my 5 beers deep at like 1 a.m. telling other people to be like, oh yeah, you should go to bed by like 10 p.m. like a normal person, and I'm over here yelling at them for it as I'm not. And then now I'm like,
I
okay,
mean,
well,
you should. Like, you should go to bed at 1 p.m. I think that's like kind of inarguable. Like, do we? Uh,
which
yes.
is also crazy though. Like I was also lifting the most I've ever lifted in my entire life back then, and I was still progressing. I couldn't imagine if I actually got good sleep and didn't
I
drink.
know, right?
Things I've been thinking about as I've been sitting here when I'm doing my work. Sometimes I'm like, imagine how far we get if we hadn't pressed that far. Whereas most of the guys that we talk to now, it's like getting them to the gym is like the hardest thing in the world. It's like an arm and a leg to get them there.
Yeah. It's just like, imagine if you had good sleep. Imagine if you had no other stressors. It's the whole thing. I had a great conversation with one of the newer trainers a little while ago who was like, the name is Aiden Murray, and he was going to play for the Vikings before he got like a towards Achilles. And we just like, so I was like, kind of picked his brain for like half an hour, but like all the differences, between like being like, like a high level athlete and being like a true like elite level athlete where you're playing like professional sports kind of thing. It's just like, yeah, it turns out you just like have no other stresses at all. It's just like everything's taken care of for you. You don't cook your own food, you don't clean your own house. You just kind of like show up and play football and train for it. And that's kind of your whole fucking life. Aside from that, you just fucking vibe. And I'm like, that's fucking insane. And it makes me like really curious, like how many people could like reach that level of like athleticism if they just had like all their life stressors removed, Like that'd be so fucking crazy.
Yeah, but also, that's also the story, right? That's like
Yeah.
I think that's the hero's journey is what we also crave for, right? When we hear of these guys like who come up from nothing. I mean, to be fair, a lot of the basketball players are like that. I'd say a few football players too, but the basketball players are the big ones. But one of them that comes to mind for football is actually Christian McCaffrey. I mean, his dad was pretty stringent. I thought my dad was stringent. So his dad was like, you cannot wear jeans to school. You have to make sure everything's loose. You were in bed by 8:30, 9 p.m. every single day. You were practicing, you were recovering. Like he had his day mapped out, but the Christian obviously like abided by it and liked it and enjoyed the sport. And now he's probably gonna be a Hall of Fame running back, you know? So it is kind of crazy to think about. Like his dad knew that right away. I think the jeans to sweatpants, like jeans and sweatpants thing is kind of like slightly
That's
overrated.
I think that sounds goofy as hell. Like I'm not like you're not gonna constrict your blood flow that much where it's gonna matter kind of thing.
Exactly.
Like I can't imagine it being that important.
Yeah, but I mean, everything else though he had pretty much like knocked down though. Like he got like the sleep timing, like making sure he was on curfew, like every single all the food that he was eating was definitely like it was just whole foods. It wasn't like obviously macro friendly, perfect, but it was just like, hey, you're gonna have some freaking chicken pasta and some spinach, like something of that nature. And obviously
Yeah.
that takes a kid very far, very long way.
Yeah.
But it's funny that you mentioned the Vikings because I don't really follow football anyways. But obviously, everybody here, their only lives are beer, Vikings, and Minnesota Wild hockey team. So,
Yeah.
as we have conversations over here, the last game didn't even matter because they're out of playoff contention, and then the Packers already won their division, so they clinched the playoffs. So the game literally didn't matter. But every bar, my in-laws, all their friends were still like going in as if it was like their last game ever in
Yeah.
history and partying like it was not like it was the last. I was like, this is normal. This is a Sunday. Like this is a normal Sunday to you guys.
Yeah.
I was like, this is insane to me. I'm over here on Sundays. I'm like, look, I'm doing my 2 hour meal prep. I'm doing my my goal settings. I'm like recalibrating with my family. I just could not imagine like just shotgunning. Well, what would be Coors Light, but it's Michelob Ultras, Michelob Goldens in the Midwest.
Okay.
And they're like 6 beers deep by like 2 p.m. at least. At 65.
That's 65. Jesus Christ. It sounds a lot like Columbus, Ohio. I once heard described as a drinking town with a football problem, which is kind of what it sounds like to me. Is what's happening there.
Same
Where
thing
it's
with
just
Wisconsin.
like you're just out there having having a couple beers and just like any excuse to get real fucking shit faced is kind of like on deck. It's just like doesn't matter what the event is, we're gonna go out and get blasted just like every fucking time. Like
It is
that's
100% what it is. It's the weirdest thing. I think it's so okay. This is where I think environment really comes in. So, for example, I lived around the most cushy white collared neighborhoods ever. So like that's all I knew, just nuclear households, right? Then I get to Hoboken, and then you get in New York City, and you're like talking to like bachelors, millionaires, wealth investors, and you're like, what the hell is that kind of lifestyle? And then I get out here, and I'm like, government workers,
Yeah.
druggies,
Yeah.
alcoholics. And I'm like, how? I was like, this is such a weird transition from suburbia New Jersey to city New Jersey, then New York City into, and then I lived in PA as well for college, which is rural as well. And then to here, but this is like a big shift into,
Yeah,
this is like the Wild West.
rural is weird. Rural gets like really rural is like a little funky. You know what I mean? Like lots of weird things start popping up. That's when you get in, like really hard drug use and whatnot. People just doing all kinds of crazy stuff because like there's nothing else to fucking do. Like what else are you gonna do? Hard drugs, I guess. Whatever.
Who's gonna catch you? The one cop?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that guy. That guy's also high. It doesn't fucking matter. No one cares. That's people like people fight a lot in like rural towns. Like, you know, when I was younger, I'd scrap a little bit, right? But like, you know, the more rural you get, there's like the less there is to do. People get bored and stir crazy, so they just like, get drunk and start shit. Fucking odd. Very, very, very odd.
Yeah.
It's an entirely different world out there, you know? Like you don't really know how it's like until you like go and experience it first. You can be described to you, which doesn't make any fucking sense until you actually just go live it for a bit. But
Well, I think what's mind-boggling to me is I actually was my mother was, I was actually like putting something together for one of my new videos, and I was just like, hey, can you send some photos in, right? And then you want to talk about a drastic shift from Midwest. So like my grandparents, I don't know if I told you this. My grandparents escaped communist China
what?
and made it to Taiwan, and then in Taiwan, and then from Taiwan started their roots there. And then my granddad's dad came into the U.S. with 2 PhDs, can speak 3 languages, fully literate, and was still dirt poor because he like just made it to the U.S. and like at the time it was just harder. It was just like everything was against him, right? And I'm like,
That's crazy.
I was like, holy shit, what a story. And I'm over here being like, yeah, I like worked as a personal trainer. You know, I like, oh, I grew up as a suburban kid, and I'm like, oh, I have all these problems. And whereas this guy is probably the second smartest guy I've ever met or known in my entire life. And he literally went through hell and back just to pay for his rent or his, mortgage or whatever at the time. And I'm over here like, oh man, like I really wish I got more protein. It makes such a big, vast difference
Yeah.
of problems nowadays.
I mean, yeah, like we live very cushy lives in the grand scheme of things, you know what I mean? Like every generation before ours had like a remarkably harder time. That's like how it should be though, right? Like, you know, like their struggles are our struggles. So it doesn't mean like we're not like struggling our own ways. It's just like things are different, right? I think one of the things that like we're gonna struggle with most of this generation is just keeping up with technology. Technology is like evolving at such a rapid pace that like I feel incredibly old sometimes. Like I just don't understand how some shit works. Keeping up with that is gonna be like very hard as I get older. You know what I mean? Keeping with that. But like as far as like it's not by no means I'm not comparing like, oh, this is gonna be really, really hard for me. But like, it's compared to like, fighting for your fucking life, escaping communist China. That's fucking insane. What are we talking about? Not remotely the same thing.
Yeah, it's like the whole Zedong era, and they had to get out of there.
Jesus.
It's like that's like a whole thing. That's what I'm trying to get at. And then you had the next ruler, Jinping. Yeah, it's the father of Jinping now, right? Like just getting out of that. So it's like a whole big thing from. Whereas we're like, yeah, I just didn't get enough food today.
I only got like 8 of my 10K steps and just like I just can't do it, man. It's fucking hard out here. There's no shot. It's just like I just don't have all the time.
Well, speaking of, I didn't even realize I turn on social media for 10 minutes. 10 minutes. So usually when I'm on social media, I'm doing key research in marketing, meaning just like I'm scrolling to find like the hooks, the first 3 seconds, what the pictures are. Like I'm really just like scrolling through like my feed because I've only followed the most famous, like best people who do that kind of stuff. And I turn it on, and today was just all about something about Venezuela. And I was like, this is fascinating. And I didn't realize that they got him. They just snatched him.
Yeah.
They just bagged him. They were just like, hey,
They just yoinked him. It's not even like it wasn't even hard. Apparently, it went 3 hours. It's like
does it take like an hour to get there?
I think so. 3-hour operation. The fuck? Like, what?
Was he sleeping? Was he sleeping?
It is okay. So like Venezuela, not really known for its like financial well-being, is what happens there is like they have miscellaneous like power and like internet outages. So they just kind of like force one of those real quick, and they're like, oh, that's not scheduled, but whatever. I guess things happen, and then they just kind of like zipped in and grabbed the guy. And that was it.
It's like it feels like some video game, like where you just like done everything perfect. Like you're like the covert ops guys and the SEAL team, and you walk in, and you're just like go 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 go. It's just like bang 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 bang, and the next thing you know, it's and they're just bag and tag him. Well, I didn't even realize that freaking happened. So then today I wake up, I'm like, I'm like 2 days behind, and then now it's like everybody's kind of freaking out on both sides, going left and right, and I'm like, I was like, how's this? I was like, I'm so confused now. Now I'm gonna go text my Princeton guy and just be like, dude, what the hell happened, man?
Yeah, that's fair. That's valid. Yeah, I didn't look into it too much, but like it's kind of crazy. It's really crazy that we would just like do that. I mean, obviously oil, it's cool, I guess, but yeah.
Oil, I think gold. Is it gold or diamonds? I forgot. There's two very, very big things over there. Oil is one of them. I forgot the other one.
I forget the other one. I just know it's oil. I don't know what the other one is. I don't want to claim one thing and have not be right. So
yeah, I remember hearing it. I think one of the scenes from Jack Ryan is coming up to be very popular right now because Jack Ryan was an anti-terrorist operative, and he was saying and teaching kids about, not kids, I guess other operatives, about like why Venezuela is actually the biggest threat in terms of that stuff. And it was very fascinating because like it's pretty real in terms of logistics. So the fact that we went in and got him. So now who is a real powerhouse now? It's like we are.
Yeah.
We are.
And it's been that for a minute, like just
it's been that for a long
the most
time.
guns, the most toys.
Big ones. So he's got all the big guns, the big toys, the big funding.
The only realistic like check to the American superpower is China. Kind of spooky because
see, you know what's funny is like, so let's play a small game. Well, China's been in cold wars with Taiwan for the last every day since it's been separated legally, which is like 1990, right? I think 1990 is when it actually happened. And their naval ships have been stationed outside of there for the last 30 years now. Nothing has happened, right? They keep saying we're going to invade them. And the thing is, China could actually go in there and just do one nuke. It's the size of New Jersey, and it'd be completely wasted. But then you have nothing. You have no way to rule.
Yeah, it's like you don't want to do that because like you want the things that are there. You don't want to rule over fucking ashes, right? You would like to take those people and resources and do whatever you want with them and have it reintegrate. Yeah, it's just like, is invading worth it because of the lives lost? Like, I have no idea.
Well, it has to be done from the inside. That's what I was telling people. Like that's what all my family members tell me. They were like, it has to be from the inside. It has to be somebody that takes out the big honchos to be able to happen, and then insert people into there, and then go from there, go for complete dominance. But then it would look bad it would look really bad on a large scale. I think right now optics is everything. I think that's really what it is. So like right now, for example, if somebody were to just do global thermonuclear warfare, like the whole world would be like, well, screw that country, and everything, like everybody will go against it. Like pretty simple. Like it doesn't matter which country it is. It'll just be like, that's a big no. So that's why everybody's like, well, at least what they're saying. What they're saying and what makes sense to me is everything has to be from the inside out. So whether it is snatching a precedent in the Dark Knight, whether it's completely rewarping or reshaping values inside a culture, whether which is, I mean, that's what I genuinely think is happening, but it has to be of some of that regard without destroying the infrastructure. But then you go to the big countries and it's like, I don't think we'll ever get into a warfare like that big enough, because I feel like at this point, what are you going to do? Send one over, they send another one over, and it just keeps going back and forth, and then you're going to rule over ashes, right?
It's mutually assured destruction at this point, right? Like it's everyone just like with fucking, it's just a huge Mexican standoff. That's all it is. Like,
what a Mexican standoff.
Absolutely. And it's a classic.
Yeah. So, but what we're going to talk over today was actually something that really came up on my feed that really, I think, I didn't realize that many people actually were interested in, but I guess also the people decide the market. So the big thing was, I think, setting the standard was the big topic. And when I was setting the standard, it just meant that when we're not confident in ourselves, it just means that, one, if it's a skill, it just means that you're not good at it, right? Like you just haven't experienced it enough. then you're also not competent enough to get the outcome that you want, right? Otherwise, that would be the confidence and skill. But confidence in self is when your thoughts, words, and actions all align, right? And you're also detached from the outcome, right? So I think a lot of times when people are like, well, I want to do this, X, Y, Z, touch the moon and back. The issue is you have no idea how to do it as a skill. And then also, since you set the bar so high, then internally you're going to be battling yourself of like, well, I said I was going to do, I thought I was going to do this, and then I don't do it, and then you internally crush yourself. So that's one of the biggest things that came to mind. But I don't know if you had anything like top of mind. I know I'm throwing you a big. I didn't tell you the topic before this, so that's why.
I don't know. I'm just like trying to wrap my head around it a little bit. We can talk about it. It's good. That's fine. If you want to hear about it, we can talk about it. How do you kick it off then? You start off on that. You tell me what you think, but like, just break it down for me a little bit, and I'll respond to how I can.
Setting the standard. I think it comes down to two parts. So I think for the fathers or people that are going into their next phase of life, so whether you're getting married, whether you're going to be a father in the near future, standard starts with you. So I think this was a hot take on my feed the other day because I said this out loud and people were like, oh, men don't tell women what to do. I was like, yeah, that's why you're a soy boy. And I was like, also always context. Look, I'm not telling them they should or should not do anything, but I have traditional values in the home sense. But outside of that, it's more so that your family, the people that you love, are going to take your lead. That was my actual take, my stance, in the sense where the way you eat, the way you treat yourself, the way you speak to yourself, all the little things that you do, they add up. And if you don't like what those things are, that's the standard that you're held to. And so I was saying things like, well, my son eats what I eat, right? I'm playing music around him with my guitar. I'm jump roping outside in negative, like 10-degree weather. I mean, he's bundled up, so it's not hypothermia and child abuse. So where it gets this out of context. But I was just saying, like, I think as a whole, we are losing autonomy, agency, just anything in regards to showing up. It's really what it was. I was like, well, I think we lack as a whole, not like everybody, as a whole. Like we just don't do the basics right and literally setting that standard. So whether it's, going to bed at a certain hour, that's like a low bar, right? And then it's like whether it's, hey, just not eating a lot of those foods that you know that you should not be eating. Whether it's, for me, it was for a long time was playing video games and not going to bed on time. That's really one of my big ones when I grew up. Whether it's, you tell yourself you're going to make it to the gym and you didn't prioritize it because the kids got busy with their schedules. Then you got tired and then you forgot to do it. And then you get mad and then your wife gets mad at you because, your dick don't work. And then you're freaking too fat to see your own penis. I don't know. I'm just saying all this shit happens. But you see what I'm saying? That's what I was saying on my feed and everybody was freaking out. So I don't have any thoughts that come to mind.
I mean, like, I think my home values are a little less traditional than yours are. We are as a society, like, moving forwards. But like that being said, there is still like, as the, a father or the man of the house, quote unquote, is like, there is still like, it's still like a leadership role, right? Like you don't get to take a back seat just because like this is modern day. The roles are changing. It's not going to be the same forever, obviously. And it's already changed quite a bit today. But at the day, it's like just being confident in yourself. Like you should be confident in yourself, right? Like if you're going to, as a parent, as a father, you need to be confident in who you are and the example you're setting for your children. 100%. Like I would not want to, ever give the example to my children that I am like, super passive, super like, super timid, small, weak, frail, fat, whatever, and just like unhealthy and sluggish. It's just like such like a bad energy. It just develops so much, like it just undermines you at all turns, and like that will in turn carry on to the children because like they will, number one, your bad habits will carry over onto your kids 100% of the time, right? Like they only know what they know when they're very young by what they've learned from you. So if you don't know how to eat healthy and how to stay in shape when you're raising them, like they in turn will not really internalize any of that, and they'll grow up to also battle with all these eating issues. They'll also be overweight, and the cycle will like continue onwards, right? So like really like I think it's kind of undeniable. I think like people do need to really just like, push themselves into to get into shape, to feel good with themselves, be confident in their bodies, in their health, to move well, to be strong, and to do all these things. Cause like these are the traits that your kids are gonna like take from you, like as they're growing up, right? Like they can't learn from anywhere else. Like they don't get these things from television or whatever. Like it has to come from the parent, right? So I would like ultimately agree, right? Like it's got to be, you got to make the changes yourself.
Yeah, so I think to really like lock this in, it's always like family stuff, right? Hang out with a lot of the family around here because all her side of the family's in Minnesota, and to really show this, one side of the family, I mean, if they listen to this, which I really don't care because I'm very frank, anyways. They have two teenage kids now. I think one's like entering like freshman in high school, and one is probably seventh grade. You know what I mean? Like right around that general area. And those are probably the most destructive times mentally in terms of body weight, body issues. Just the viewership of your own self is very contentious with your own self views. And I felt terrible when I saw them because like she's overweight, and her mom gained I think 80 pounds since she got married.
Jesus.
Right, and the dad doesn't eat. I mean, he doesn't eat throughout the day, and then he just binges at night, like just
Okay.
when he comes home from work, right? And I think this is what. So before everybody's like, "Oh, Chris, you judgy piece of shit." The thing is, I don't care what somebody else does if they don't care, right? What I will say though is like I'm still going to judge, but I'm not going to mock that person for being a bad person unless it really is an endangerment, a physical endangerment to somebody else. It's technically not. Now, I'm disappointed in the fact that you have a teenage girl going into middle school, high school that is going to be tormented for the way she looks. And that is completely and has been completely up to you 90% of the way up to this point. Right. And for the girls, that's a tough break. I mean, I remember the guys had issues with like, man, we look like, we had like little man titties, like we were too scrawny. My hair was going left and right, whatever. Like you guys are just knocking each other, but the girls, it's like you guys,
So
it
much
was
more brutal.
way worse.
So
So
much worse.
I think what really hurt me the most was them eating, and it was like the one kid only ate M&Ms, Skittles, and a hot dog, right?
What?
And drinking soda. Like that was it. Like that was like the entire like holiday meal. And I was just like, what the hell is going on? Obviously, he was near my son, and like luckily my son doesn't register anything like that. Uh, and then I saw the daughter, and she was trying not only to eat meat and veggies, and I was like, oh, I'm catching on now. So she doesn't like the way she looks already, like, and she doesn't want to look like her mom. And that's where I started clicking. I was like, oh, she does care, and it's such a shame. And I think this is why when I came on Instagram the other day and I said it out loud is because I was looking. It just reminded me. I was like, man, I feel so bad because she couldn't. You don't get to choose your parents, and then she also lives with what they eat, and they eat, and I mean, right, like they could eat. Let me tell you,
Yeah.
like pretzel bags in a day, like a whole entire Hershey Kiss bag a day. Like it's pretty brutal. And if they're listening, it's like, I don't care. Like, here's the thing. These are truths. I'm not saying you're a terrible person. I'm just saying, like, hey, you know what's going on. You don't have to lie to me. It's just the way it is. So when I came on, I was like, look, when you set that standard for your kids, it's like they really watch it. This is the same family that the dad is the one that said bitch around the ice like 20 times. And I was like, dude, you have to stop. You have to stop. My son started saying it.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. And it's also the potty mouths. They will say every word in front of their kids, every single word, and probably worse. And so imagine like just draw a whole picture. It's like the entire thing is just aligned with it. So imagine like you eat like shit, you talk like shit, you look like shit. I don't know what else could go down the line. And then it's like the whole downward spiral. So what's so funny is like they have good jobs, all white collar jobs, and it's like they're cushy, they're comfortable, whatever. And yet, right, it's that mindset, it's their environment, right? They're around people who are also unfit, who are also complaining all the time, who also curse, who also drink all the time. Yeah. And you just like, like when is it like basically for me it was like when does it stop? You know, like is it that your kid, your daughter? I'm already noticing her daughter trying not to put on weight. You know, that's a dangerous. That's already a dangerous road where your entire family is like just scarfing down hot dogs, hamburgers, all the processed foods in the world, and she's like, "Well, I have to go against the grain," and she has no help.
Yeah, it's so tough. It's if you are eating like that while you're like, look, I don't really care what people do as individuals. You know what I mean? Like, if you want, this is a free country. You can do whatever like you want to do, whatever you have money for, as long as you can afford it. You're not hurting anybody. No one really cares. Doesn't really matter to me, right? If you want to gorge yourself on nothing but like sweets and fried foods and just get fat as fuck, as in a vacuum, like I don't care. Like that's your business. That's up to you. As soon as you start doing that, like around kids, and you're instilling these habits in like this other like human being, and they have to now deal with this later on as their own sort, and they're like you pushing us the entire time, like that. I think that does kind of make you a bad person. You know what I mean? Like you are like creating so much like turmoil for these young people who have absolutely like basically no control of the situation like whatsoever, right? Like, they didn't choose to be your kids, but like they're instead like born into this life where they are forced to eat in such a way that is going to give them like just body image issues forever. You're going to be like could be like potentially incredibly overweight for like very very long time. You could be like diabetic at a very early age, right? Like you're giving them, like, you're just like passing on all these terrible habits and terrible like possibilities to these children. Like that's a very negative thing. That's a terrible thing to do to somebody. And like I can't get behind people who do that to their children. That shit's fucking crazy.
Say for what it is, Brett. Like it's irresponsible.
Yeah, like 100%. You got to be fucking like you're responsible for your kids, how they eat, how they grow up. Like you have to take control of it. It's so fucking ridiculous. People just like you see all the shit like, oh, I can't afford to eat healthy. No, yeah, like easy eating healthy is like at the very baseline. Just fucking like rice and beans is like super cheap, man. Just fucking you can throw some
Peas,
sauce on that.
frozen
Peas,
peas,
yeah,
edamame.
dude. Yeah, man. Just like it's not that fucking difficult. It's really, really not. People like to think it's the hardest thing in the world to eat, so they have to eat all this McDonald's. They have to eat all this like random fried stuff. It's like you're just not. It's not how this works. Like people just want the easy way out and just don't want to work for it and want to like blame the systems they were born onto. It's just like we are the most like privileged people to exist ever. It's crazy. Like what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah, right. And this is the whole point. Like I think the whole point of that story was like it's they are desk workers and they're over 30. And I was like, this is exactly up my wheelhouse. I don't, I actually don't take family as clients, but the fact that they just fit that demographic, I was like, this is literally the exact thing I'm fighting against, like actually fighting against. So, so that was a big turning point for setting the standard. And I said on my post the other days as well, is that somebody came up to me at the gym and was asking about his half Asian son who was getting bullied for being overweight, 16. And I was like, dude, we had a whole conversation and it like led up to the end. And I was like, look, I was like, whose fault is it? Right? Like who literally led up to this moment and put all the food in your kid's mouth? And like, who was he around 99% of the time? And he's like me. And I swear I thought he was going to punch me in the face. But it was obviously a very concerned tone. It wasn't like, yo, whose fault is it, bitch? Like, it wasn't like that whatsoever. And we're also in the middle of the gym floor. Yeah. So, he actually gave me a hug and we actually hugged it out. But I think it was just hard to have him understand that he just didn't take care of it early enough. And this leads me to the next part, which is a lot of our newer guys coming in. A lot of them are entering their next phase of life. So they are getting married. They are thinking about and preparing for kids. And so as you're listening to these horror stories, minor horror stories of being parents that we honestly believe are irresponsible, it just means that you got to take care of it now. Like easiest way I can put it is that these are skills. Because if you treat it any other way, then you might think it's out of reach, or that it's somebody else is genetically gifted, or it's just the gymfluencers and the TikTokers that are getting all these benefits. When it really, it's not. I think of it like a video game. And if you're able to level up your character and let's just say like you're a base level character of 10 on your nutrition and your training and your lifestyle. It's like you can easily get it up to about 60, 70, 80 and be well in tuned to be able to raise a child, to be healthy on all fronts. Right? I'm not saying emotionally though. I'm just saying everything else. I'm still emotionally destroyed, but everything else is there. The guys that are preparing for the next phase of life, all I'm saying to you is like it now is the time. Like you actually have less time than everybody else because once the baby comes, it only gets so much harder. I mean, that newborn phase, everybody says they love it. I'm like, dude, I remember that vividly. I was like, I was getting up every 3 hours with her. She would take the night shift, then I wake up the next shift, then she would wake up the next shift. I was like, look, obviously I'm grateful for being there with my son for that time, but it's just like imagine you're gonna be sleep deprived. You don't even know how you're gonna cook the food. The average man gains 15 pounds in the first 6 months of raising a child. And I was like, you're thinking that you're gonna just take care of this when you have the time. It's like you literally like once that kid happens, you actually have no time. It's like time is
gone,
against you. Like you went from like which is so funny because like I have all my fathers now. They're like, oh man, I wish I got this done in my 20s when I was getting promoted and I was like working my ass off. And I was like, guess what? It's the fallacy of time. I'm pretty sure it's not a real fallacy, but but the whole point is that internally we always think that we have this golden opportunity, right? Like I honestly think it's in a mechanism to help us or calm us down because we all know in a vacuum that we don't have more time. Like I think literally we were counting down time, like in those movies, where like that Death Note. There's like a timer above our heads, whatever.
Yeah.
But in this case, is like it's like right now it's you're trying to right now it's like you're trying to climb up the corporate ladder. You're trying to get promoted. You're playing all these corporate politics. Next thing you're getting married, and then you're like, oh, I'm gonna keep waiting for it. It's like, man, get that newborn, raise him up, and you still haven't learned it all. And it's like. And you still have to learn how to work out. Like, imagine you have to still have to figure out how to work out. And if you don't even have a home gym, to get to find time to go to the gym, everything's against you. So, I do have one right now who's getting married in like, I think a year, and he just signed on. He's like, dude, I was like, I gotta look good in my suit. I gotta be able to do this freaking now. And I was like, yes, this is a very healthy mindset because the other way around, I think I had 99% of people come up to me and be like, dude, I don't know how I could fit this in now. I was like, wait till you get no sleep. Wait till you have to feed somebody else's mouth. And then if you think that eating frozen pizzas and Eggo waffles nonstop will actually be a good idea, like you got another thing coming, man.
The time is now. The time is always now, right? Time just like is just more fleeting. The older you get, the more responsibilities pile on, more you have to do. It's always just like you don't do now, it just gets harder. It just gets harder. Like, whatever you have right now, like, I guarantee you 5 years from now, you'll look back on it, like, I wish I did it then when I had like way less to do. I don't know how busy you're going to be then, but like I can guarantee you, like you'll be busier than now. It's better to start today rather than like wait down the line. There's just no point. You need these systems like now, right? Like now, because like there's no kind of build them later on.
Yeah, and bring it back full circle to setting the standard. Every good story starts with somebody going on an uphill battle. So the fact that you're already better off than 99% of people having a cushy white collar job, that's not gonna be your story. Your story is gonna be like, even with 12-hour freaking work days and hanging out with my spouse or girlfriend, I still was able to make it to the gym 2 times a week. I was still able to somehow get these foods in and also show up for my family. That's huge. And then, a great story about this is Ernesto is a perfect example, an absolute perfect example. I mean, when we hopped on that call, right, that 6-month exit interview, one of the biggest things that he said was that his clients, he's a lawyer, his clients would actually talk to him and be like, you actually look the part. Like, we can actually confide in you, right? And I was like, wow, that's a huge statement. Like, I don't hear that very often, especially from clients, right? Especially that they hire you. And that just goes to show you how powerful it is from having the average person, especially a lawyer. I think the average lawyer is 35 to 40 starting.
Yes.
Right. Like actually practicing, like on their own practice or whatever, like a big partner. And it just goes to show you like that if you're that person, you're already a leader without even speaking a word. You already set the tone for the environment around you. You're like, look, I don't believe in this bullshit. I don't deal with bullshit. I take care of myself. And what also really set the standard for him was he has interns and people that come in after law school. And they're all just like, wow, I can look like him. I can be like him, successful and still be in shape and not give up my life. That was huge. And that interview will be out and I'll be fully edited by the end of this week. But it was beautiful. And it's so true. Like that's just a community. That was just like his like work area. Like just imagine like going out eventually like to your little league games or out to like a random like a restaurant and you're the only person that's not fat. Isn't that absolutely wild? It's like, yeah, you're going to get treated differently and for good reasons. And so I think like I think our hot take. I'm just going to do hot takes all day now.
Okay.
I think the bar
that's
is
it.
so low. I absolutely think the bar is so low. I don't even care. No. Let's just
Okay.
hot takes only.
Yeah.
I think the bar is set so low nowadays. I mean, what is normal? What is normal nowadays is that divorce rate's at 50%. Half the US is overweight. Half the US is broke, living paycheck to paycheck, if not more. Men's dicks aren't working at the highest rate. And it's like everybody's like, oh, I want to be like everybody else and be normal. It's like, fuck that. It's like, I'd rather do everything the opposite way. So whatever tells everybody, the average person tells me to do something, I'm just like, I probably should do the opposite. Probably should. And you will stand out. And guess what? You will be noticed. And you will be the person that people actually look up to because you actually have agency for yourself. For once. Because everybody always like, what? Oh, how's your day going? How's the weather? Let's circle back. Every single dude, I think I was so pissed off at somebody the other day, like messaging me saying like, oh, I just want to be normal. I'm like, fuck that. No one wants to be normal. Like, what are you normal? Like, no, fuck that. I was like, I don't want to be overweight. I don't want to be depressed. I don't want to be fat. Like, screw you. Like, I'd rather be jacked, happy, healthy. I can actually freaking see my penis. Like, those are great things to have. Like, have these guys. Yeah, I was from what episode. Was it a Family Guy that did that? They're just like, find your penis for $1, find your penis. Yeah, that was Family.
Yeah.
I think in that episode, every time somebody says that out loud. Wow, I hope this podcast absolutely gets me a flag because this would be absolutely hilarious.
Hell yeah.
I doubt it though. Like Theo Von and all of them say some really crazy shit, so I doubt this will be
100%.
touched. But it's true though. Like the bar is so low to stand out. I mean, so we're in an age where we have too much of everything. If you just didn't, not even preaching fitness and nutrition. Watch this. If you just didn't eat as much as the person next to you, if you just didn't doom scroll as long as the person next to you, if you just didn't follow relationship advice from the people that are around you, you would actually be pretty damn good. Isn't that crazy to think about though? Like that's the average. And yet we want to be, or as a whole, are always fighting for the average. And like for example, these desk working guys are all like, oh, I'm going to save, for example, I want to save up for retirement. I put on, put an X away amount of dollars every single month to my 401k. And I'm not saying not to, but then when it comes to your health, you're like, oh, I can't invest X amount of dollars, whether it's $500, $1,000, $10,000 to my health. Like that is the most hypocritical thing I've ever seen in my entire life. It's like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna invest all your money away, be like, oh, it's for delayed gratification, and then you get to 65 and you can't even use it. It's all paid for healthcare.
Yeah, it's insane. Absolutely not. Fuck that. God fucking damn it, dude. Just fucking like, how much do you even enjoy it? Even assuming you don't like just keel over at like an early-ish age from like, just being incredibly overweight and everything, all the issues that come with it. Like, how are you going to enjoy yourself if you're so out of shape when you're fucking like in your 60s, right? Just like, you gotta fucking be in shape. You have to be moving. You have to be like, strong. And when I say strong, I don't mean like in like any like kind of like competitive sense. Like that's obviously very silly, but like strong enough to like just be functional and fit and useful on like the day. It's all it takes. It's honestly not even that much. It's not that much effort. Like twice a week in the gym, I can guarantee you can get there. Like that's all you really need to do. Like you hit baseline and for a lot of people, like you will be impressive. Like people will be surprised. Remember, I used to train a guy for a while, and he was like in his and he was moving offices at one point in time, and like everyone there were a bunch of fucking nerds. They worked in comic books, and he just like as a like 50-year-old man, he was like, just picking up like whole like boxes full of like comic books or whatever. They were like just moving in office with him, and everyone else was like struggling, like taking like two people for one kind of thing. Like it's noticeable. It's easily noticeable, right? Like it's so apparent.
Honestly, it's just it has never been lower. And also, I've also thought about this. So like our demographic is actually the best for excuse me, the best for actually having a more nuclear household. So that's actually one of the best things. But even so, I do go to the playground on the weekends with my son and Alyssa. And I don't know if I told you this yet, but I think I was there like 2 weeks ago. And obviously, like I'm a trainer, so I look around all the time and just be like, see who's like even just averagely fit. Not all the dads would be around their kids and they'd be gassed out. And I'm not talking overweight either, like super overweight. Like I would just see them like running around with their kids, like, like between like 1 and 4, and be absolutely gassed out and like panting next to me. And then they were the ones looking at me weird because I'm the one that's just like running around. Like Elias, if I take my eyes off of Elias for half a second, I'm pretty sure the house will be burned down. So I'm like freaking Hawkeyes over here, like on his ass nonstop. Like I just could not imagine like trying to keep up, like doing everything retroactively, being like, okay, well now I have to start doing it because like that is so much way harder,
Yeah. Oh
like
yeah.
way harder. Imagine, like I think the hardest part, anecdotally, the hardest part in the first 2 years that I had it with Elias was complete time management, right? And delegation of who was cooking, what was done, what was done. Because like imagine like your spouse isn't sleeping at all, like at all, right? In the first couple months, and then you gotta be like, all right, well, what do I got to eat? And then what do I, how am I gonna train? I'm already sleep deprived. How can I adjust for that, right? And if you have no gauge whatsoever, that's already another hurdle that you're gonna have to battle. So the fact that I already had a great base going into it was probably the only thing that kept me sane throughout the entire process, along with being with my parents, just trying to help out in the case. But I could not imagine not having the skill set to do some sort of time management, basic cooking, and some delegation to be able to figure out a way for like her to get her exercise in, for myself to stay sane throughout the entire process. Because like I would get no more than 6 hours in a night, right? Because she would do the night shift, right? And then I would take the morning shift. So like right away, I wake up at 6 a.m. and then take up from 6 to 9, right? And then she can sleep for like 3 hour increments. Like it's tough. Hey, that is not easy at all. So for the guys who have the kids now, they're probably like, yep, I remember that. And now if you're listening to this and you're not taking care of your health, you've been trying. It's like, well, it's like how many more years are going to keep waiting, like until you actually figure this out? Because at this point, it's going to take a long, 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 long time. And the only way you're going to get help now is if you take the time to bring it back to yourself, invest in yourself, because you invest in your kids and your sports and their extracurricular activities. Or maybe that's just you just being like, okay, I have some free time to myself. And I get that too, actually. I forgot which movie was that was. I think it was American Pie, where they're like, why'd you send us to tennis camp? I hated tennis. And then the parents are like, oh, we just want to have sex.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, come on, mom. God, they really got to bring back those raunchy movies.
Yeah, a little bit.
But yeah, I don't know if there's anything else like on top of mind that of you saying like, setting the standard or anything of that regard.
I mean, like, it is what it is, right? Like, what, like it or not, you were setting the standard. It's like, what standard are you as individuals setting for your kids, right? Like, the bottom line is like, whatever you're doing, that is their standards. So, like, if you want your kids to grow up and like, be fit and healthy and happy, live it, right? That's really all there is to it.
Yeah, and I think the next podcast we'll talk about more about discipline, and I think it will tie it together. But as of right now, I think when it comes to setting the bar, like just to kind of like tie this all off, just know it has never been easier to statistically stand out, because right now, if you put all of it together, which is overweight, underslept, underperforming in the bedroom, literally broke. There's one more that I'm missing. One more big one I'm missing. Imagine your wife is hearing all this.
Yeah, sure, there. It's fine. Anyways.
But to do basically the opposite, you will stand out like a sore thumb, and you will reap all the benefits from it. It has literally never been easier. So, on that note, thanks for watching the podcast. If you enjoy this podcast, please subscribe, share with a friend, and please follow us on our Instagrams. Mine is Coach_Chris Lee, and we get tons of value for desk working men. If you enjoy this podcast, please share with a friend, subscribe to the channel, and follow us on Instagram. Mine is Coach_Chris Lee.